Mom, I wanted to take some time and just talk to you about some of the things that have gone on in your life. We know that you were born Amish, which is pretty cool because there aren't too many people that are born Amish, and you are the first generation out of many generations, right?
Yes.
So as far back as you know or have seen in your genealogy?
Back to the 1700s.
Yes, you were Amish. And we've been talking about your story, and I wanted to hear from you how the story came about. So we've been writing it down, but how did it come about that we started to write it down? You'd met someone at Oak Ridge and got to know him?
Oh, that was Bill. And I started telling him different stories about my life and what I'd done and where my parents come from and how I got started at Oak Ridge and all that different stuff. And he told me, he said, there's no way that one person done all that. And then somebody else came in and repeated some of the stories, and he said, you really did it. And I said, yeah, I did. And that's where I am right now. And that's what brought me to where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of cool. And then I told you that, and then you said, well, we need to do more. We need to record some of that and make a story out of it, which it is. And that's what we're doing here today.
How has the journey been for you as we've sat together and talked over the course of the last couple of years? Has it been good? Has it been hard?
Sometimes it's hard, but most of the time it's a good reflection of what I've done over the years and how fortunate I've been to have had the life that I have.
Mm-hmm. Even with the hard times. And you and I think, have gotten actually closer through it.
Oh, yeah. And we did have some really hard times and some really rough periods that I didn't do exactly like I should have, and it's made it hard stumbling through life and trying to get it right. But I've always wanted to do what was right and raise my children right. But I make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and you know what, I'm even finding that I've tried to do it right, but you know what we've realized? Ain't nobody doing it right.
That's
Am I right?
That's exactly right.
So we're all learning, you know.
That's right.
As
It's
we
a
go.
learning experience as you go, because nobody is born knowing how to be a parent, a good parent, or a good wife, or a good mother. It's something that you learn as you go.
I wanted to go kind of to think back on your earliest memory with your grandmom and your grandpa Yoder. They were Emmanuel and Lizzie Yoder, and they lived in Danville, Ohio?
No. They lived in Mount Eaton, Ohio.
Mount Eaton, okay.
Right in the middle of the Amish community.
Okay.
And they were staunch Amish and very legalistically oriented and raised their 8 children the same way, which my mother was the third one from the top, and there was 8 of them. So, but Mom and Dad left the Amish when I was 8 or 9 years old, and we moved to Florida, and then we started going to the Mennonite church. And but a lot of that Amish heritage is still in my house today, even though I'm not Amish and was never belonged to the Amish church, even though I went to the Amish church till I was in school and whatever. But I never went to an Amish school. I always went to public school. Yeah.
You said there was a phrase that your grandpa said to your mom and dad. And
when we went to Florida, and then when we came back, we went to Grandpa's, and we hadn't seen them in 5 years. And then my grandpa said that they would have been glad to see us if we could have come back like we were raised, like Mom and Dad were raised. But he said it in German, and it hurt my mother's feelings so bad that she cried. and we didn't stay long because we didn't feel like we were accepted, and which Mom and Dad should have known that because they were such staunch Amish, and then we came back as Mennonites, which to them was the same as if you didn't belong to anything.
Mm-hmm. Even though you had coverings and cape dresses, and
Yes.
still probably spoke a lot of German in your house.
That's all we did. When I started school, I couldn't speak English. All I could speak was Pennsylvania Dutch.
How did the teacher handle
And
that?
then the teacher wrote a note home and told Mom and Dad we had to speak English at home so that I could understand what they were saying. Well, then my cousin Verna come to that school and was in my class, and we sat in the same desk because she couldn't understand English. And so that was my first grade. When we went to the Amish church, and my dad was not a good Amishman.